Looking back, it's a real strange path I took. From death metal drummer to rapper and producer. What happened?
Growing up, I was that long-haired, greasy drummer kid. I loved jamming and made bands. I always wanted to run with it. I had that death metal ambition. Could never play fast enough. Slowly members started leaving the group, and that was tough, but I kept grooving. Transformed the patterns I was using into my own productions. I had no band, but I kept it moving. As the beats and lyrics started to get more serious, most other people couldn't see it. Too abstract, thought I was delirious. So I'm wording this song just as clear as I can make it, without veering off subject. Just where I want to take it. If you care, I'll break the basic. Surface clarity is tasteless. Stare at me terribly, like apparently I'm wasted. I could do this all by myself with no help. That's how the style goes. Guitarists and bassists are just so unreliable. I won't cry a puddle though while we're trying is in the works. We're making this album happen, more of that in the second verse. And up to this point, all experiences were meant to be a culmination of skill, the recipe that made me D.A.P. The recipe that made me. So if you have a minute, I'll entertain with the same sent from my brain. Explain the entity as I retrace my memories. At some point we all face the enemy. Will you fall or simply change to another entity? Up to this point, all experiences were meant to be a culmination of skill, the recipe that made me D.A.P. The recipe that made me. So if you have an hour, I'll entertain with the same sent from my brain. Explain the entity as I retrace my memories. I was walking a dirt road, all alone, slow flowing. Not a care for regular life. I played drums and I wrote poems, and I nearly broke down until I found some hope now. Cause my dude Dylan Moen hit me with some dope sound, and I was so proud when he said that I influenced him to start making beats, improve and keep doing them. I knew from the beginning that he had a knack for music, had talent with instruments. Now we can actually use it. That's why I'm rapping and attacking the beat with vernacular facts for free. These raps and drum tracks keep it from going mad, you see. It's only gravity that keeps me on Earth's cavities. Dragging a pen across the pad is my first plan to be free. I've always had to be me, too eccentric to disguise that I bent up six violent. Never tried to even hide it. I'm done keeping quiet, creeping, sleeping in the silence. It's been a long time coming, but the train's here, it's time to ride it. Up to this point, all experiences were meant to be a culmination of skill, the recipe that made me D.A.P. The recipe that made me. So if you have a minute, I'll entertain with the same sent from my brain. Explain the entity as I retrace my memories. At some point we all face the enemy. Will you fall or simply change to another entity? Up to this point, all experiences were meant to be a culmination of skill, the recipe that made me D.A.P. The recipe that made me. So if you have an hour, I'll entertain with the same sent from my brain. Explain the entity as I retrace my memories. Will you evolve to survive the hardship, or will you fail to strive and remain an artist?